Hey there guys, Jordan here, back with another reaction video, and it's going to be another death battle. And this death battle is Shigaraki versus Mahito, My Hero Academia versus Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, first of all, I'm really sorry for keeping all of you guys waiting for my next death battle reaction, because the thing is, when this came out, My Hero Academia, the manga had already ended, and the final season hasn't aired at the time, so I purposefully avoided watching this death battle to avoid any potential spoilers that this death battle had. But I was able to watch the final season of My Hero Academia as well as its final special episode, so I'm all caught up and spoiler free. Although I still have to catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen, but I digress. So yeah, so now I'm finally back and we're finally going to be reacting to this battle. And without further delay, further delay that I've been putting off through this entire thing, let us get started. Gotta adjust the volume here. And let's proceed. Ooh.
Shigaraki versus Mahito. The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
Okay.
Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Let's do this. Alright, first up, Shigaraki.
Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy.
He was.
Superheroes. But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet, shy boys. Ruthlessly
Nope.
and abused by his hero-hating father. Tenko
Yep.
was beyond his emotional limit.
Alright, background. Real name, Tenko Shimura, aka Symbol of Fear. Age 21. Height 5'9". 175 meters, Grand Commander of the Paranormal Liberation Front, suffers from Kanetesubita, League of Legends and Smash Bros. Player, lives in a society. Okay, not sure what this League of Legends and Smash Bros. Player's trait means. But yeah, Shigaraki had an extremely tragic childhood, and it's because of his father's abuse that he ended up completely snapping. But I'm sure that later on they're going to explain what happened afterwards, so just in case all of you watching this don't want to be spoiled as well. But yeah, this kid had some serious hell throughout his childhood. And I suppose it's understandable why he would want to resort to villainy after the abuse he's had. Alright, back to it.
Until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk. It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In
Nope.
his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional. Tenko
Yep.
wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only the hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil. All for one.
Yep.
The greatest supervillain in history. He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything. And
That's right.
him to one day lead his League of Villains in destroying Hero Society. With that,
Wow.
new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay.
Yep,
Does what it says on
that
the
quirk
tin.
is no
Anything
joke.
he touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone.
Abilities. Decay, applied through hands and feet, citywide range, disintegrates physical matter, disintegrates energy attacks, fear aura, reactive evolution. Yup, this quirk of his is no joke, being able to turn anything to dust just by putting his entire hand on it. And as well as being able to murder anyone he touches. So, yeah. You can understand why he's feared, since whatever he touches ends up destroyed. Certainly a worthy successor in All for One's eyes. Now back to it.
Who just wants to destroy? Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake. Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands.
Yep.
From his family.
Uh-huh.
Killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Oh boy.
While his use
That's
of
really
decay
messed
started
up.
relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own. Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Yep.
Like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city. If decay reaches
No joke.
your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital. After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the number one
All Might.
All Might. Only to fall flat on his face. Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well, cringe. Oh, he's just so cringe.
Yep.
This gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies. But they say
Oh,
defeat
boy.
is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction. Right as
True.
All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well. These two rivals,
Yep.
the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations. Especially when
Yeah, without a doubt.
double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself. And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and
Absolutely.
organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front.
That he
Thousands
did.
of new soldiers for his personal army. All to impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's.
That's
It
right.
took constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad. Ujiko's experimentation
Sure.
vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power. Sharing All Might's power between them,
Yep.
Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 2,000 miles into the sky.
Yep, that did happen.
To be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams. And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes' intercontinental ballistic cruise punch. Now the new name for Mapinas. Gigantic Omega Storm.
Okay.
It also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth. Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power. So decay.
Yep, that's right.
Oh shit! More heads! Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat. But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All for One. So what better way than the old man's quirk? All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch. And All for One
Yeah,
has hundreds
that's
of
what it
them
is.
collected over the years. Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige. Kinda like a
Though created from biological quirk factors, vestiges are described as being souls and spirits. It is even remarked that the vestige of All Might within One for All becomes more clear as he gets closer to death. That is true. Because Deku inherited One for All, he was able to see all of the other previous users of One for All as vestiges. And All Might was also there, although he hasn't completely manifested since he is still alive. But still, all of the vestiges inside One for All were able to help Deku with his mission to destroy Shigaraki once and for all. Oh, sorry for spoiling that as well. But yeah, this is how it is. And I suppose this was supposedly his influence on what to do during his biggest mission. Alright, back to it.
Piece of their soul. They exist in this kind of psychic world in Shigaraki's body and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came...
All for one, air cannon, surge, danger sense, spring-like limbs, flight, super regeneration, heavy payload, telekinesis, radio waves, vestiges, reflect, warping, scatter, and many more. Yup, All for One has been able to use his particular quirk to steal hundreds if not thousands of different powers from all of his victims. And considering that he was able to pass this on to Shigaraki later on, Shigaraki using this along with his personal quirk makes him a much more fearsome threat. So it's understandable why every single person would want to make sure that he is put down for good and that nothing else happens to anyone who gets near him.
Quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stole...
Shigaraki stole danger sense from Deku specifically by stealing the vestige of Hikage Shinomori rather than the quirk factor, proving that the two are linked. Yup, it's true. Shigaraki was able to use this quirk because he stole the soul or spirit of the person who possessed that quirk rather than the quirk itself. And that is how some of the vestiges were able to infiltrate Deku when he entered Shigaraki's flashbacks. Oh wait, no, memories is what I mean. So, yeah, it seems that All for One can be able to steal more than just power, they can also steal souls. And that truly is fearsome, I'll give him that.
When destroyed, will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All for One's vestige, that means All for One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence
He was actually groomed to be his vessel.
Was Nana Shimura, grandmother.
That's right. Yeah, this really messed up All Might after All for One revealed that to him. So, yeah. Don't mess with whoever possesses that kind of power. Feats. Destroy Deika City, fight Gigantomachia for 1.5 months, caught laser beams, prove the legitimacy of the quirk singularity doomsday theory, could decay all of Japan in a week, far stronger than All Might, defeated Redestro, Stars and Stripes, Eraserhead, Mirko, and Bakugo. Yup, Shigaraki was able to accomplish all of that, some of them even before he was given All for One for himself. So yeah, it's understandable why every single hero had such a hard time dealing with this particular person. So maybe he might have the upper hand in this battle, but maybe we should wait until we see what his opponent's comparisons are. Alright, moving on.
That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose. To create a soul so corrupted, it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All for One to take full control.
But All for One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time. Despite his best
efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
Yep.
The new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All for One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Whoa. Alright, next up, Mahito.
His brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood. Man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed?
Good grief.
A living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle.
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito.
Oh boy.
I've had people tell me I'd become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is
Alright then. Background, aka Patchface, age a few months old, height 5'11", 180 centimeters, unregistered special grade curse, leader of the disaster curses, fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, name means true person, lives in a society. So, unlike his opponent, Mahito was manifested by the fear of one's own death. And this has been happening for only a few months, as shown here, which means that he has gained some more powerful aura to him in only a short amount of time. Not sure about what this particular fact about him being a fan of Tolkien is. But yeah, Mahito truly does seem like a real manifestation of fear. Just makes me wonder how both symbols of fear will go against each other and see if one outfears the other one. Suppose that should be something to look forward to later on.
beings to ever afflict mankind. He's no mere mortal, though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger, depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kind of weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that
boy.
mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically
My
like
word.
OP. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's
Okay.
making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
Noted.
Cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space.
Alright. Curse physiology. Superhuman physicality, partial invulnerability, invisibility, combat adaptability, cursed energy, auto-regenerative reserves, black flash, barrier technique curtain, binding vows. So yeah, the curses in Jujutsu Kaisen are able to withstand physical abilities that are brought by normal people, unless that's why Jujutsu sorcerers are hired specifically to take care of these curses, because these sorcerers have their own cursed energies as well, which can be able to inflict damage and penetrate through their superior strengths. But since his opponent isn't actually a Jujutsu sorcerer himself, not sure if he'll be able to go through Mahito's power. I suppose we'll have to be able to see for ourselves how it will turn out.
But can only be harmed by attacks that spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my eggs. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito is special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other great disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which
man.
Kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in.
This guy's a complete psychopath.
Like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen,
According to Principal Yaga, one can replicate a soul and its formation in the information of the body, such as how he created Panda. Oh, okay. So it's because of this that Mahito can be able to withstand and replicate his own soul, and that gives him the ability to be able to withstand whatever attacks the sorcerers give him. So, the sorcerers have to be able to directly go through Mahito's impenetrableness. And, I suppose creating Panda may have been one possible way of replicating a soul as long as it's information from its own body. So this could be using a jujutsu sorcerer's power to its own advantage. That's something to be wary of.
The bodies share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants.
Idle transfiguration, soul manipulation, shifting for offense, reshaping the soul and bodies of opponents, reshaping his soul to fix damage, cloning, soul multiplicity, body repel, domain expansion, self-embodiment of perfection, 0.2 second variation, instant body of distorted killing, enhanced physicality, exoskeleton with blades. Okay. So Mahito is able to control his own soul and use it for offense and defense when battling against other jujutsu sorcerers. This might put his opponent at a big disadvantage since he doesn't have the power to manipulate his own soul to use for offense and defense himself. So maybe soul power is better than a quirk? That's something to keep in mind.
Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Yep.
Are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
Oh, that with one touch!
Oh boy.
His powers, Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two
This guy's really messed up.
Soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Yeah,
Ooh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced
Good
sorcerers.
grief.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort,
Oh,
exponentially
boy.
amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse
Sheesh.
technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound.
Good
No surprise,
grief.
Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
Oh shit!
Oh, boy.
A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly, without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection. The ultimate
No
expression
kidding.
of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not
Oh,
only
boy.
was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
Yep.
King of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value
Really?
of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and
Oh,
brutally battering
man.
them before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to
Other side material such as Cursed Clash and Phantom Parade show that Mahito is relative to his fellow disaster curses in sparring sessions. Gege has also said that Jogo could die to 5 black flashes from Yuji, and Mahito can survive several from both him and Todo. So Mahito is just as equally compatible with dealing these kinds of sparring sessions with disaster curses. And considering that Yuji is able to go against him just as easily, yeah, that does give Mahito some problems with being able to go against the other sorcerers with Yuji in the way. Well, I guess that's one of the flaws of not being able to think ahead before realizing who you're up against.
summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can
Ooh.
take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and...
Alright, feats. Landed a black flash in a microsecond, transfigured 1,000 humans in Shibuya, survived withstanding Gojo's unlimited void for 0.2 seconds, tanked numerous black flashes from Yuji and Todo, slammed Yuji and cratered the ground, defeated Nanami, Ultimate Mekamaru, Nobara, and Todo. Man, those are some very insane feats, especially considering that he used innocent people to use it as his advantage against the other sorcerers along with Yuji. Man, seems that Shigaraki may be at a disadvantage here, but then again, Shigaraki does have the power of hundreds if not thousands of other quirk users, and that he used as his advantage. Well, guess we'll have to see who has the better advantages here.
Blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into. A true blight on all
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
Yep.
Maybe, but
It was all for naught for him.
After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory. The destruction of another human being's
Ah.
soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Wow.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Let's get started. Ooh. Oh boy, it's already started. Oh.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Yeah.
Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring up your head instead?
Alright.
Let's call this your audition.
Do or die. Oh, there's the no moo. Ooh. Oh boy. Yep, using them as weapons. Ooh.
Did you actually just see that?
Oh? Huh. Oh boy. Man. Look at them go.
Audition over. Did I get the part?
Oh boy. There they go. Ooh. Oh. Changed their ultimate forms. It's gonna be close. Oh, there it is.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make
Oh boy.
everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Oh?
Hands off.
All for one. Oh.
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random.
Oh boy.
You grow up.
Whoa.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories.
Okay.
Stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had...
Curses are invisible due to existing on a different spectrum of light than what normal people can see. Extrasensory abilities like Shigaraki's that do not rely on visible light would be unimpeded. So because when Shigaraki was a kid, he was constantly being abused by his father, and that put him in a more life and death situation. And that type of fear from his father's abuse is what more or less gave him his ability to see Mahito much easier. So, yeah. Any person in a life and death situation can be able to spontaneously see curses, and Shigaraki seems to be none the exception.
No problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the...
Mahito could tenuously scale to Mai and Yozuru's construction techniques due to his status as a special great disaster curse, but these would not surpass Shigaraki's strength. Yeah, that's true. Shigaraki has been able to gain more powerful, especially during his battle against Gigantomachia, which lasted for a month and a half. But the thing is, so yeah, Mahito wouldn't have been able to know what that is since he was born from pure hatred. So he wouldn't have been able to improve much of his strength since he never had any proper training himself. So it seems that's another point for Shigaraki in that sense.
Disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy. Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he...
Mahito could potentially scale to relativistic and light speed feats from Jujutsu Kaisen's final arc due to keeping up with Todo, but these still would not surpass Shigaraki's speed. So even with Mahito's invulnerability powers, he still wouldn't be able to keep up with the kind of stats that Shigaraki had been able to endure. Plus, there was no contest in being able to have enough curse power to escape a destructive quirk like Shigaraki's. So that's another point for him.
React to light beams, while Mahito's black flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats,
but survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new...
Idle Transfiguration's unique ability to nullify regeneration like reverse curse technique is predicated on its damaging souls. Mahito could not ascertain and directly target the super regeneration vestige, therefore he could not stop Shigaraki from healing bodily injuries. That's true. Mahito was able to go against the other Jujutsu sorcerers due to them not being able to have regenerative abilities, and not to mention that Mahito can be able to withstand their own attacks since he can just regenerate them by manipulating his soul. But Shigaraki was able to acquire the soul of the person who can be able to heal his own wounds. So that puts Shigaraki at a big advantage here since he was able to obtain the soul of the person who can regenerate their own wounds. So he wouldn't need to be able to manipulate his soul for that.
Flash meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, cursed and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idol transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idol transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety
Uh-huh.
than all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years. But
True.
none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idol transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestige
Shigaraki survived multiple one-for-all transfer attacks from Deku, which directly attack the soul and reflect identical damage on the body. Just like idol transfiguration, his body evolved to counter these punches automatically. Yeah, that's true. Deku was able to punch the souls of the previous users of One For All into Shigaraki's body to be able to attack All For One from within him. So, because of that, Shigaraki had been able to withstand the type of attacks that Mahito had been using, which he was able to use by manipulating the souls of his own victims. So yeah, it seems that experience in heavy damages was enough to be able to give Shigaraki the advantage to withstand some of Mahito's damage towards him. So, that's how it goes then.
served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idol transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against
Even if Shigaraki could not target spiritual matter, Nanami states that a curse like Mahito would still die after expanding all of their cursed energy. Given Shigaraki's massive physical advantages, arsenal of abilities, and proven 45-day stamina versus Gigantomachia, he easily wins the War of Attrition. I see. Oh, that makes sense. Shigaraki has been able to withstand that much endurance, meaning he has much longer endurance, and since he's not made of cursed energy, he won't be able to get tired so easily. So even if Mahito could try to kill Shigaraki, he would have to consume all of the cursed energy inside him to do so. But due to Shigaraki's ability to heal his wounds, this would mean that the consumption of cursed energy would put a much bigger toll on Mahito's stamina. So, yep, Shigaraki gets the point for that.
Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Yep, that did happen.
Energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't
Shigaraki's soul is additionally shielded by a barrier of pure hatred distinct from the soul itself. Idol transfiguration has been blocked by Nanami's cursed energy, which was born from negative emotions like hatred. And because Mahito was created from pure hatred, it wouldn't be able to go against Shigaraki's soul, which is made of pure hatred. So, looks like you can't fight fire with fire here.
naturally target the soul. We're able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like...
Idol transfiguration allowed Mahito to separate parts of his body affected by decay before its effects spread. However, with Shigaraki's overwhelming speed advantage, he could not do so forever. Yeah, as I said before, Shigaraki has much better endurance considering his previous training. So no matter how many body parts that Mahito could separate from his own body, he would not be able to escape from Shigaraki's quirk in time. So, that's how it goes for him.
Everyone else,
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death.
Results. Shigaraki. Positives. Far stronger, larger arsenal and array of powers. Vestiges protects from idle transfiguration. Negatives. Though this would remove one of his quirks, inferior regeneration. Mahito. Positives. Regeneration made him nearly impossible to kill. Negatives. Though decay could target his soul and kill him, far slower and weaker, couldn't individually target Shigaraki's soul. Yep, no contest here.
But Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Congratulations, Shigaraki.
Death battle.
Subscribe and
Master Chief versus Doom Slayer.
Thanks for watching.
Alright. So that was Shigaraki versus Mahito, and Shigaraki was the winner. Wow. Feels really good to come back to reacting to these after being absent from this series for so long. So yeah, now that I'm all caught up with whatever happened before, now I can be able to react to the rest of this series episodes and many more to come. And yeah, I plan to do reactions to some other things as well. So yeah, it's great to be back doing these reactions again. Alright everyone, thank you all for watching and I will see you all next time.